Hello everyone and welcome to the video. I'm going to be taking you through this week's escalation missions and showing you where all the loot containers are. We do this every week now, and the reason we do it is because prototype pieces drop out of loot containers and you can farm them every single day. You can open them once per day per character, which is pretty cool. Extra prototype drops for you. Higher tier, higher chance of them dropping. This week we have Liberty Island, Potomac Event Center, American History Museum, Jefferson Plaza, and Air and Space Museum. So show you each of those missions and where all the loot containers are. And before we do, a lot of people ask, what's the easiest mission to farm this week? If you're just looking to farm protos over and over, I'm highly going to recommend to you American History Museum and Air and Space Museum. Very easy missions, even if you're farming them on higher tiers like tier 10 and you're comfortable with tier 10s. I'm going to go into the rest of the video now and show you where all of these containers are. There are 7 loot containers in the Air and Space Museum mission. The first one can be found after the first area as you go down into the parking garage. As soon as you have collected the loot out of this one, just spin around and you're going to notice X on the wall with a balloon. This is part of a secret room which will reveal one loot container later. Make sure you shoot it. That balloon was one of 3 balloons that you need to shoot, and the second balloon can be found just before you go into the planetarium, again signaled by a yellow cross. Once you've cleared the planetarium, you'll find your second loot container as you progress forward. Moving on into the next area, you'll find your next loot container. The next container can be found once you exit the Mars room.
Mechanical component.
In the same area as the last one, if you just head to the stairs that go down and then head to the right, you'll find your next container. And after you've grabbed your loot from this one, you'll be able to go find your third balloon. This balloon, as long as you shot the other 2 earlier, will open a secret loot room. Again, yellow cross marks the spot. Just shoot the balloon and you'll see the message on screen saying enter the secret loot room. This will contain another loot container. And the final container is in the final area where you'll have the boss fight. As soon as you enter the area, run to the right side where I'm going now to find it. There are 5 loot containers to find inside of American History Museum. The first one is just after the second area behind this statue. The second container can be found as you head down the escalator on the train. You'll find the third container once you've fought through the Vietnam room. From the last one, just head down the elevator shaft and you're going to see this storage room here, which is a locked door. Now, this key for the locked door can pop up anywhere in the mission. You can see it on my screen now, the basement storage key right next to it, which is handy. But this can be earlier in the mission as well. So when you go through this mission, just keep an eye out for that key that randomly drops. And if you get the key, you can open this door to get your loot. And then just moving on from the basement storage area into the next area, you'll find your final loot container of the mission. There are 5 loot containers in Jefferson Plaza, and the first one can be found in the second area where you head down and there is an objective to sabotage the train. It's in the right hand side train. The next container can be found when you climb up and come back outside. The next container can be found in the area after you destroy the 3 tanks. Multiple ways to get into this area, but it's a room where the roof has fallen in, and you're just looking for this little room here. The last 2 containers can be found towards the end of the mission. As you head up the stairs, you'll find your first container just behind the desk. And then once you've collected this one, just look into the final area and you'll see a parachute with some loot on it. Shoot this down for your final container of the mission.
Exiting contaminated area.
This is it.
There are 5 containers that can be found inside the Potomac Event Center. The first one being in the area where you take down the 3 boats. As soon as you got the first container, just head through the yellow gate, and the second one is on the left. The third container can be found after you've cleared the area where there's a fire pit and you're ambushed. Once you've cleared the theater hall, you can get the 4th container. The last container can be found at the very end of the mission. You actually have to complete the mission because this door that opens won't open until you complete it. You can go through this door to find the 5th container. I'm not 100% sure though whether a prototype piece can drop, as in theory you have finished the mission. None dropped for us on this recording, but it is a container that is part of the mission. There are 17 loot containers to find inside a Liberty Island, and the first one can be found as soon as you've cleared the first area. The next container can be found once you've cleared the top of the ferry before you enter the cutscene. Once you have entered the room and had the cutscene, you can go back to the previous location where you got the last container to find 2 more containers.
Unknown network detected.
Signals coming from below the statue. It's gotta be him.
Welcome to Liberty Island, agents. I see the division really went out of their way to get me there tired and poor.
From these 2 containers, the next lot of containers are going to be inside a secret loot room. And from here, just drop off the ferry, and you want to shoot a bird's nest that's in front of you inside the tree. A black tusk key card will drop from the bird's nest, and with this key, you're halfway to opening the secret loot room. Just head through the doors in front of you, and there'll be a touchscreen you can interact with. Interact with this and each of the other ones that I do to open the loot room. Once you're done with the loot room, there's still one more container in the area. In the area where you have to deal with Razorback, there'll be 2 loot containers. Once you're finished with the Razorback area, just head through the gate and you'll find 2 more containers. And then just continue a little bit more forward to find another container.
Deploy the Marauder.
It's our last one, sir.
Just do it.
Marauder class quadcopter detected.
You'll find one more container after you've dealt with all of the Warhounds and the Marauder before you head into the Statue of Liberty. And then the final 2 containers of the mission can be found once you head inside the Statue of Liberty.